Alright folks, it's another lovely Saturday and I figure what better way to use my day off than to spend it with you guys, stripping down the engine. Let's get into it. Alright, so engine is off the crane and on the table now. Crane's actually being used by a mate, so let's hope we don't need to move it because this bastard is heavy. And let's get into stripping it. We got the sandblasting cabinet behind. Hold up. Past Mitchell here. I've got to protect the timeline. I just bought that. Didn't just fall out of the sky. So we can start cleaning up some of the parts and yeah, gonna be a fun day. Okie dokie, so these are our 4 spark plugs, just come out. Try to get the camera to focus on, there we go. As you can see, that one's okay. Focus mate. That one's okay. That one's a little rusty, so there's been some water in there. This one on the other hand, gunk and everywhere, so this guy's been a little bit rich at some point, so I'd imagine that's why the motor's not been running for so long, because they took it apart to start fixing some stuff and then gave up. So it could be anything really, who knows, but that's a bit of a clue. Alright, so I didn't know that the camera capped out at a certain length of recording, so I don't know if it caught me doing the last couple things on here, but all the bolts for the timing covers are off bar the ones on the back, so these timing covers at the back are about to come off. Soaking this guy in WD-40, still hoping that he will come loose, because then once that comes loose, this entire front section with cam belts, everything, water pump, all that stuff is going to come off. Everything is looking absolutely crusty. The the cam guide here, just absolutely crusty as hell. See if I can find it, there we go. Everything in here is just caked with a nice thick layer of mud, so it's going to be pretty satisfying to get it all done back and looking nice again, but we're not even halfway through, so there's no reason to keep talking, we might as well press on. So this is my lovely little way of keeping things organised. It's called chuck it all in a Tupperware container, chuck some tape on it, write the name, and Bob's your uncle. Working out so far, except for the fact I've forgotten to write on it. And that there is one of our heads off. Tiny little thing, isn't it? We 8 valve 4 cylinder. Freaking cool. Now we can move on to the next one. Oh. Oh. Lovely. She was full of water. Jeebus Christmas. You done yet? Still more? Well, that's just lovely, isn't it? Well, I wasn't expecting that. It seems I've carried half of Lake Taupo with me in my engine. Aha! Little violent. Oh. That's the rest of our head there. Oh, jeebus. Oh yeah. This thing is definitely in need of a rebuild. Alright, so mess is mostly cleaned up now. Note itself, I thought I'd done a decent job of draining out the coolant from the block when it was on the crane. That happened off camera. Note to self, old engines with mysterious problems might have an entire cylinder filled of coolant and water. I'm not actually sure of the numbering order of the cylinders, but the back cylinder on that left-hand bank was just full of water and coolant, and that's what you just saw make my day a million times worse. And it has made me realize as well, I haven't drained the oil from the motor, I just did the coolant the other night, so I will need to do that before I take the pan off, lest we go through this again, but this time it's with oil. So, good bit of learning there. Wear water resistant clothes when you're working. Ooh, nasty. Now that, get a look at this, guys. That there. Far out, man. I'd say that that cylinder has seen some things. I was not expecting that when I ripped in here. Far out. I'm glad I didn't try to turn it over by hand. There's so much build up here on the walls that these would never have turned over. Jesus. Well, there you go, guys. That there is why you open the motor before you try to start it. Oh, I'm glad I've gone this backwards way about doing it. Whew. oil pan off. Lots of shite. You can't really see it in there. Don't have the torch on me, but there's lots of shite in there right now. Yep, not at all the nicest looking oil to be pulling out. We'll put these bolts away because I've sorted out the organisation system and I want to keep organised. And then we'll try to get the pistons out. Currently don't actually have a 15mm with a 1/2 inch, so I don't have anything to put on my breaker bar to actually get those flywheel bolts off right now. So hopefully someone comes to the rescue, or I'm making my 4th trip to the parts shop today. Alright, so this is what we've got at the moment. The block and the other 3 pistons, crankshaft, etc. Still sitting on the table. Flywheel bolts do not want to come off. So overnight soak, hopefully. And then from there we'll figure out how to do it, because getting the socket on them and the big breaker bar just started to round one of them and I was just, back off. Do not want to deal with that. So we'll deal with that tomorrow because it's starting to get a bit dark. This is what we got for now. I got the sandblaster set up and I'm really just itching to do it, so I'm going to grab a couple of choice little pieces and do some sandblasting just because I can, and just for a little bit of satisfactory stuff to watch to end off the video. Well, a bit silly, and I didn't think of recording it before, but this is the after. This is our coolant pipe that was on top of the motor. You can go back early in the video and get a bit of an idea how it looked. Wasn't the worst, but just a nice little bit of oxidation creeping in pretty much everywhere on top, and a bit of rust on the bottom. Still on the inside a little bit more, but I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that in a different way. So, you know what, for that, that's pretty good looking, I must say. Now, these valve covers, however, I do very much want to do. They have seen better days and they will be a centerpiece of the engine when it's done, depending how we set up our carbies and air intake. So, I think they are very worthy of a good sandblasting. And the difference there between the two, that's our sandblasted one and our one that hasn't yet been sandblasted, is just night and day. There are a few imperfections, places where I was running out of sand and then it picked up more, but for a first run over that's pretty good. I'm very, very happy with those results. so this is where we're going to leave off tonight. A couple of sandblasted parts. We've got valve covers, one of the baffles, coolant, pipe, bypass, whatever. A couple of the cogs. So that's what everything all looks like pre-sandblasting and then post-sandblasting. So it's definitely a marked difference. Alright, so main thing that we want to do, the reason I'm sandblasting everything is because I am going to reuse as much as possible. I don't want to buy a bunch of brand new stuff because it's expensive. So even though I am restoring the car to the best of my abilities, I'm going to try and keep as much as I can. Alright, so that's going to be it. It's late again, second episode where I've run into the night to do stuff, but you know what? I was having fun. So, a few things are sandblasted now. Engine's mostly apart. It's still sitting over there behind me with a couple pistons in the block and that flywheel attached. I'll figure out how to get that flywheel off. It's just putting up a fight. It's going to stay soaking in WD tonight and then try to find a 6-sided 15mm socket because it doesn't like the multis. And then maybe just 6-sided 15mm and rattle gun it off, worst case scenario. I don't mind if I fuck the bolts. I'll probably end up getting the flywheel machined if it's okay, or if not, get a new flywheel, and I'm not too fussed on getting new bolts as well. So if it is that, that's what happens, you know. Other than that, I'd say good progress made today. I'm very happy that we've managed to nearly tear the entire engine down apart and get started. Everything behind me was set up this morning as well, so for me, my day started quite early with setting up the sandblaster, the compressor, and putting this new desk out here. So lots and lots has been done today. It might not come out that way, or it might come out that way. I've got lots of footage to go through, so we'll see how long this one ended up being. But yeah, lots of effort. And that draws to a close my Saturday. I'll be able to do this again next week, so there'll be a new video next week. For now, thank you guys for watching. And thank you for supporting this, if you're supporting this. If you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm learning as I go.